Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Zimbabwe needing to apologize to South Africa. It's time to let go of that empty pride and apologize to South Africa. You stole a lot from this land and you are still doing it even now. You stole our spirituality through the things that were stolen. Our lives, the lives of our children, our material stuff. It's either you bring back everything or you face the wrath of poverty forever. You want South Africa to give you wealth, health, and comfortable life, and yet you give South African people pain, tears, deaths, and emotional rage due to sexual assaults done to the children of this land.
Zimbabweans commit more crime more than any other nation in South Africa, from placing spikes on our roads, railway cable theft, brutally killing families, farm killings, and many other crimes. Zimbabweans are always marching in SA, making demands, waving their country flag from the comfort of a foreign country. We must impose travel ban on Zimbabweans and review relations with strong military presence.
Zimbabwe as a country has moved to South Africa. From Gugulethu to Khayelitsha, there's Zimbabwe there. The whole country, Zimbabwe, has moved to South Africa. And then we say to the Americans and we say to the British, give the Zimbabweans what they deserve. Because you agreed in Lancaster that you will give them 40 billion pounds for land reform and redistribution program. They did not give them that money till today. And nothing has changed in Zimbabwe.
They do not deserve all that they are getting. These are the people that don't bother you in your own country. They don't even, they don't find it necessary for them to leave their own country and move to your own country. Talk more of coming into your own country to constitute nuisance.
Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Robbie Masaga. Today we are diving into yet another hot topic that has sparked a lot of heated debate online. So apparently, South Africans are demanding an apology from Zimbabweans for the criminal activities and fraud happening in South Africa. Well, as always, I'm here to break it down for you, share my perspective, and also hear your thoughts. Yeah, let's listen to this first, then let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are.
Oh my god, I know those ones. No guys, serious, this is serious. Oh my god, this is another thing to be addressed. A lot of people from Zimbabwe, I'm just thinking of another country that's so close to us. Oh, even Swaziland. Even here in the US, they say that they are from South Africa. They just basically round off to the nearest 10. Like, you are from Southern Africa, yes, but you are not South African, you are Zimbabwean. You are from Swaziland, you're not South African. They say that, you know, they are South Africans, and I've seen that, and they don't say they are from Zimbabwe. And this identity situation is a long story, guys. We are just talking about it. Don't be offended.
If you go to the UK today, the Nigerians remain Nigerian. If you go to the UK today, the Asians remain Asians. The only person has an identity is the Zimbabwean. Take a Zimbabwean to South Africa, he is Zulu. Take a Zimbabwean to Botswana, he is Tswana. Take a Zimbabwean to the UK, he speaks English like the British. A Zimbabwean is not proud of his culture. A Zimbabwean is not proud yekwa akabva. Zimbabwean can easily change at any time. That is the tragedy of a Zimbabwean. We thought kuti kana vana vedu vadzidza mapa equal level, you will be proud even of speaking Ndebele uri kwauri. You will be proud even of speaking Shona uri kwauri. Take a Zimbabwean to the UK, mwana wako atauri Shona. This is who we have become, a people without a dress code, a people without culture, a people without a way of life, a people without defined parameters. Even our marriages are hatichaziva. You get what I mean? I urge you as a Christian community to define your culture and represent it.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Zimbabwe needing to apologize to South Africa. It's time to let go of that empty pride and apologize to South Africa. You stole a lot from this land and you are still doing it even now. You stole our spirituality through the things that were stolen. Our lives, the lives of our children, our material stuff. It's either you bring back everything or you face the wrath of poverty forever. You want South Africa to give you wealth, health, and comfortable life, and yet you give South African people pain, tears, deaths, and emotional rage due to sexual assaults done to the children of this land. How do you rape a 6-year-old child? Are you sane? Are you okay mentally? Ever since you came to South Africa, life has changed drastically. There are spiritual things that were sacred that you stole in the Venda land. You have churches on our land. Your churches are standing on top of people's body parts. Our beloved Moretele Park River in Mamelodi is now closed, all because of the body parts that were discovered in your so-called churches. You kill South Africans every day. South Africa doesn't owe you anything. You are cowards. You don't face your problems head on. Your former leader had you all on his grip. You were all afraid of him, all afraid to even mention his name. You knew all kinds of witchcraft he was able to perform. You knew how heartless he was towards all of you. Most of you inherited his evil ways, and you are performing it on the wrong land. You will keep on having those car or bus accidents on this land that you keep on wronging. Your time is up now. You will all pay for all the things that you are doing on this land. You will all learn how to fight your own battles in your own land. Your time is up now. Be warned. South Africans, it's now time for your justice. Justice will be prevailed. All of you who have been wronged by all of the Zimbabweans who have done all the bad things that they've done to this land, they are all going to pay. You will get your justice. I'm just a messenger. Thank you.
Well, I heard someone say that whole country of Zimbabwe has migrated to South Africa. Not hundreds, millions of people have migrated to South Africa. And I was asking myself, why? Why do you have to run away from your own country? I know, and I do understand that majority are running away because of hard situation there, because of the economy, because of violence. Those are things that people are running away from. But do you think there will be change but the moment you people run away? Change can only come the moment you face your fears. The moment you face those problems, those challenges, that is the moment you'll see results. But if you keep running away, there is no change you'll ever see in your country. No change will ever come. When you run away from your country, you carry all your problems with you to another country. And that country that you've gone to seek refuge in, all those problems, whatever that you're experiencing in your country, you're still going to experience that in that country because you brought with you your problems. You didn't want to face your fears. You didn't want to face those problems in your country. You didn't want change. You only wanted to run away, thinking that by running away there will be change. There's never going to be change by you running away. And that is why we see South Africans resenting Zimbabweans. Why is that the case? Because they're being accused of criminal activities, fraud. Because you brought your problems with you. You thought by you going to South Africa there will be change. No, you only went there to disrupt the peace of South Africans. And that is what South Africans are fighting for right now. They are fighting for their peace, the peace that was there initially before you people went there. How many foreigners from different countries are there in South Africa? Right now, South Africans don't have jobs. Why? Because all foreigners that run to their country go there and accept jobs for lower wages. And that is the biggest problem that is there in South Africa. And that is what they're complaining about. And when you people run away from your country, instead of you going there, be humble and do whatever that your host is telling you, you go there and misbehave. Then later you start making demands in a foreign country. Some of you even protest with your flags high up there in a foreign country. Imagine you going to a foreign country and you start protesting. You start making demands with your flag so high, and you didn't want to do the same in your own country. Why? You're only being hypocritical because whatever you're doing in a foreign country is what we expected you to do in your country. How many of you have seen Kenyans fighting for their country? To an extent where young kids, Gen Zs, they went out there on the streets to fight for our country. We've always fought. We've never run away. Zimbabweans have been linked with armed robberies, human trafficking, scams. They've been found with fake IDs, driver's license. All these things they are doing in a foreign country, not their country. When you do these things in your own country, no one will complain about it. But when you do it in a foreign country, it does not make sense. It does not make sense at all. You going to a foreign country and engage yourself in human trafficking. I've had this severally. People complaining about human trafficking in South Africa from foreigners. Not South Africans, foreigners. Don't you think you people are disrupting the peace in South Africa? The peace that you found. These people fought for apartheid. They won. They wanted that peace. They found it. And it's fellow Africans who are trying to disrupt it. And the moment people talk, you say that so-and-so hates me. People will never judge you when you do these activities in your own country. They will never judge you. And it's not right for you people to run away from your own country, taking along your problems to another foreign country. It's not fair. I'm hosting you. I said yes to come. I've invited you in my country. I said yes, I'm going to host you. But the moment you step foot in my country, you start misbehaving and expect me to just keep quiet. And the moment I talk, you go out there carrying your flag so high, making demands to be accepted in my country. You want my government to accept you when you can't even behave well. I know there are those Zimbabweans who've spent almost a decade in South Africa. They've literally became citizens in that country, and they still don't have legal documents for them to stay there. And those are the people who go out there making demands for the government to accept them. But I don't think that is the way to ask someone to accept you in their country. There must be a way for you to ask politely, because these people they are only doing you a favor. You ran away from your country because there was either war, maybe there was no jobs for you, because when you don't have a job, clearly you don't have anything to eat. There's something that made you run away from your country, and these people accepted you. They did a favor to you. So when you go there and start making demands, putting your flag so high up there, it's very unfair. Just like Nigerians, Zimbabweans are very hardworking. They are very hardworking, and they've contributed a lot in the economy of South Africa. They have. But we cannot ignore the frustrations of South Africans. We do have South Africans who they are on the streets. Why? Because they don't have jobs. Foreigners have taken everything from them. The moment you go looking for a job, maybe you have a foreigner and a South African, they go to the same place looking for job. That employer is going to employ the foreigner because they know they're going to pay them, small amount of money. But with the South African is going to ask for a big amount, which maybe they don't have, or maybe they have, but because they want to exploit this person, they won't employ the South African. And that is what South Africans are complaining about. They are sleeping hungry. They don't have a roof on their head. Their kids are suffering. They can't even go to school. Why? Just because they were generous enough to accept foreigners from different countries, foreigners who've come to turn tables. Right now, it's the South Africans suffering because they accepted foreigners, which is not fair. And the moment they speak, people call them xenophobic. They are violent people. They don't like foreigners. They hate foreigners. That is what you people term them. But you're not looking at the bigger picture. And I gave an example on one of my episodes. It's like going to a neighbor's house and you want to control things there. You want to be the one controlling the TV. You want to cook whatever that you want to cook. You want to sleep in whichever bed that you feel is very comfortable for you. That is not how it happens. That person who is hosting you, if they decide you to sleep in the kitchen, you don't have to question them because they are offering you somewhere to sleep. They are offering you food. You need to appreciate the little they are giving you. And this is what South Africans are complaining about. And you people can't see that. Imagine being unemployed in your own country. Reason being, you accepted a foreigner in your country and they took your job away. How do you think South Africans feel? I feel their pain. And that is why I also agree that foreigners need to go back to their countries and create those opportunities in their countries. Whatever they are running away from, they need to go and face it. If it's the corrupt leaders, you need to go back and face those corrupt leaders because almost every country in Africa is, trying to fight corruption. We also have corrupted leaders, and those are the people we are fighting so hard. So if you're running away from corrupt leaders, because only corruption creates all those chaos, you need to go back and face them. Create those opportunities for yourself. It's not good to go in a foreign country and disrupt peace that was there. It's not good that you go to that country and start taking jobs away from people of that country. It's not fair. Create those opportunities in your own countries. Face your problems. Face your fears. It's the only way that you can make change in your country. There's no change that will come in your country if you can't face those fears. If it's the corrupt leaders, fight hard to get them off those seats. Fight them hard. You need to go out there, protest in your own country. Don't go protesting in other people's country. You cannot go putting flags so high like this up there in a foreign country. You need to go do it in your country. Fight those corrupt leaders. I saw a comment on one of my episodes. Someone said that a group of Zimbabweans were protesting in South Africa, demanding for sex work to be legalized in South Africa. And you ask yourself, you come all the way from your country to go make such demands in a foreign country? Do you people see what I'm trying to talk about? Do you see sense in what I'm trying to talk about? Like, why make such demands? Why not let people of that country, if it was people from that country making such demands, we would understand. That is their country. If they want to destroy it, it's their country. They can do anything they want. But you are a foreigner. Making such demands in a foreign country does not make sense. And it does not sit well with anyone. Let me be sincere. I totally understand why South Africans are frustrated and why they want accountability. Every person need to feel safe in their country. We shouldn't feel like we are visitors. You shouldn't be feeling like you are a visitor in your own country. And I do understand why they want people to be accountable for their mistakes. Go back home, go fight for whatever that you're running away from, go fight hard for it. You will find that peace that you want. No one wants to see their resources being misused. And both governments need to be responsible. They need to take responsibility. They need to be accountable. The government of Zimbabwe need to address whichever issue that Zimbabweans are going through. They need to address it so that Zimbabweans can go back home and settle there. They can go back home and work there. They need to let South Africans have their jobs back, have their home, have their peace back. That is what they need to do. And the government of South Africans need to listen to its people. It should not give its people a deaf ear. Your people are crying and you're quiet. You're busy impressing foreigners when your own people are suffering. This is creating chaos in your own country. Our countries are being messed up, are being destroyed by these politicians that we are electing each and every day. They come to us, they lie to us, they promise us things that they don't deliver. We elect them. They are the ones who are destroying our own countries. The government of South Africa needs to listen to its people. Instead of giving them a deaf ear, listen to what they are saying. They need their jobs back. They need their homes. They need their peace. They need everything that rightfully belongs to them. They need it back. Yeah, guys, that is all I have to say for today. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time,